It was springtime on the island of Sodor, and all the engines were very busy. Diesel had had his overhaul, and he felt much better. Donald and Douglas had been to the repair yard as well, and they were very happy to be working again. One morning, the Fat Controller came to Tidmouth Sheds. He had a very important announcement.
The editor of a railway magazine is coming to Sodor today, and he wants to take pictures of all the sights and all the engines, the Fat Controller told them.
The engines were excited.
Now Thomas, today you will take the editor around the branch line, and tomorrow Gordon will take him round the main line. And the following day, Duke will take him around the Scarlowy Railway.
Thomas was excited. Gordon was cross.
Huh, the branch line? What's so special about the branch line? Instead of 1 day on the branch line and 1 day on the main line, it would have been better 2 days on the main line. It has far more beautiful sights than that. Silly branch line,
Gordon said crossly. Thomas, Percy and Toby were cross.
How dare you, Gordon? The branch line has beautiful sights.
James and Henry agreed with Gordon. The Scarlowy Railway's ancient. It deserves to be in the magazine. But the branch line? I mean, the main line's the most important part of the railway.
Also, the main line is much bigger and has much more sights. A day in the branch line is only gonna waste time, in my opinion,
huffed Henry.
What do you know? You've never been on the branch line,
shouted Percy.
No, but I was on part of it, and what I saw wasn't very eye-catching. What's so special about an old windmill and a station that says Farquhar on it?
Said Gordon.
There are a lot of beautiful sights on the branch line, Gordon, and if you must know, the windmill is very special. Very special indeed, said Thomas crossly. Enough! The editor is going to the branch line today, and the main line tomorrow. There's plenty of time for him to see the main line, shouted the Fat Controller.
Thomas was very cross and upset, and so was Gordon. Later that day, James brought the editor to the junction. Thomas was still upset.
Hello, pleased to meet you,
he said sadly.
Hello, my name is Mr. Hughes, and I am looking forward to seeing your branch line, he said.
Oh, you won't be disappointed, smiled Thomas. The branch line is the most beautiful part of the railway.
Heh,
huffed James crossly. Then Thomas and Mr. Hughes left. Thomas was showing him all around the branch line, and he was enjoying himself mostly.
Silly big engines. What do they know? They're all stuck up, huffed Thomas.
Then Thomas had to stop at the signal. While they were waiting for the signal, Mr. Hughes took pictures through the window. Percy was waiting at the station.
Hello, Thomas. Enjoying yourself?
He asked. Oh, yes I am, Percy, but I'm still cross at that Gordon. How can he say that my branch line isn't good enough to be in a railway magazine? Harold overheard.
And I was thinking, Thomas, instead of an engine taking the editor around the railway, would the editor not see more from a bird's eye view in a helicopter, like me?
Suggested Harold. Thomas didn't like this idea at all. What's the point of an editor of a railway magazine being shown round a railway on something that doesn't run on rails? Huffed Thomas.
Just a suggestion, dear Thomas. Don't forget, wings work wonders, you know. Always.
Then the signal dropped. Right, Thomas. There's no free big engines at the junction, so we must take Mr. Hughes straight to Knapford Station, his driver told him. And then Thomas set off. As Thomas was puffing to Knapford Station, he started to feel funny, and suddenly he stopped.
What's happened to me? I feel like I have no strength at all,
complained the worried Thomas. His driver quickly examined him. You've burst your safety valve, Thomas. We can't take Mr. Hughes to Knapford Station now.
Oh no,
sighed Thomas.
This hasn't been my day.
Then Thomas looked back and saw Murdoch in the shed.
Worse and worse. Now Murdoch's gonna laugh at me and think I'm a silly little tank engine.
But Murdoch wasn't laughing at Thomas. Murdoch was worried about him.
Thomas, are you okay?
He asked.
Oh, I broke my safety valve, and now I can't take Mr. Hughes to Knapford Station.
Well, Thomas, what if I take Mr. Hughes to Knapford Station for you?
Suggested Murdoch. Thomas was surprised.
Really? You would do that for me?
Of course, Thomas. Anything to help a friend.
I thought you would have laughed at me like all the other big engines did.
Murdoch smiled.
Listen, Thomas. Just because I'm a big engine, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna laugh at you. And I heard what Gordon, James and Henry said about your branch line. And can I just say that I completely disagree with them. I'm sure your branch line is beautiful, said Murdoch.
Thomas was delighted.
Oh, Murdoch, thank you. If you would take Mr. Hughes to Knapford Station, that would be brilliant.
Thomas and Murdoch's driver agreed. You will have to ride in the cab, Mr. Hughes. It could be rather uncomfortable, said Murdoch's driver.
That is no problem at all, sir. Thank you very much,
said Mr. Hughes gladly. Soon Mr. Hughes boarded Murdoch, and with a huge puff, Murdoch headed for Knapford Station. It wasn't long until he arrived at the station. Then Mr. Hughes spoke to the Fat Controller.
Well, what did you think of the branch line?
Asked the Fat Controller.
Oh, Sir Topham Hatt, it was beautiful. I got lots and lots of pictures for the magazine, and I cannot wait to see the main line tomorrow. But there's just one thing.
What is it? Asked the Fat Controller.
Which engine is showing me around the main line?
The big blue engine on the second track, the one that has number 4 in his tender, replied the Fat Controller.
Well, would it be possible if Murdoch took me instead? He gave me a lovely ride to the station, and him and his crew were very, very friendly,
asked Mr. Hughes. The Fat Controller pondered for a minute.
Sure, that shouldn't be a problem. Do you mind, Murdoch?
He asked. Murdoch was pleased.
Oh, sir, it would be an honor to do such an important job. Of course I would do it. Thank you.
Gordon was furious.
But I was supposed to do it,
he snapped.
Yes, Gordon, but did you deserve to do it? After all, you said very rude things about Thomas's branch line this morning,
the Fat Controller said sternly.
Exactly, Gordon. The branch line is just as important as the main line. This should teach you a lesson to be more respectable in future,
said Toby. The next day, Murdoch showed Mr. Hughes all round the main line. and Murdoch even showed Mr. Hughes the old Vickerston sheds. They had been abandoned for many years, and trees and bushes grew all around them. Mr. Hughes was very intrigued when he saw them. But Murdoch enjoyed himself mostly, much to Thomas's joy and Gordon's dismay.